My sister Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show. 13 or 14, my mom, she had a really bad accident. She fell, and her back was really messed up, so she was in hospital a long time. And so I was a surrogate parent for a moment.
Where was Dad?
Working, had to make a living, had 6 kids.
So what would it look like for you if it were different? If you didn't have that responsibility and if they weren't leaning on you, what would your life look like? What would you be doing?
Well, I would have soared higher.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Y'all, ever since the Braxtons returned to our screens, it's been nonstop drama. It's clear these sisters just can't seem to get along. And now, with fresh updates surfacing daily, there are rumors that Toni has been venting about how tired she is, saying she's been carrying her entire family for the past 14 years.
It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
I don't want to talk about that, man.
But it's the truth.
There's no doubt Toni Braxton is the most successful of the Braxton clan. With 7 Grammys and over 70 million albums sold, she's one of the most accomplished women in R&B history. She first sang alongside her sisters in the Braxtons during the late 80s, but it was her solo debut that launched her into superstardom. Toni Braxton, released in 1993, shot to #1 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 10 million copies. Hits like Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song powered the album, which was produced by Babyface and Antonio L.A. Reid. Toni kept the momentum going with her follow-up album Secrets, which featured the iconic Unbreak My Heart. That single alone sold 10 million copies worldwide and remains one of the most successful songs ever released.
Mommy and Daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
This is before Vincent.
Before Vince, Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with Mommy car insurance. Only Tamar.
Toni Braxton has recorded 9 studio albums, with the latest dropping in 2020, and nearly all of them have been pretty successful. But despite her early financial success, she ended up taking care of most of her family's needs. And it wasn't easy. She's openly shared how she was the one handling everything while her sisters stepped back, except for Tamar, who at least helped cover some bills. Toni basically said that while Tamar can be a lot to deal with, she had been supporting their mother even before she had money of her own. Meanwhile, the other sisters had the attitude of, well, Toni's got it. She can handle it. And that mindset frustrated her even more. Toni claims that while she was the one holding things down financially, both Trina and Towanda insisted on being paid to work with her, even though Tamar, who was helping with the bills, never asked for a cent. Now look, it's fair to say that Trina deserved to get paid. She spent years doing backup vocals for Toni while raising 2 kids of her own, and every time she performed with Toni, it was time she could have been using to make money elsewhere. But according to both Toni and Tamar, even with Trina getting paid, she still wasn't contributing financially to the household, so Toni remained the sole provider. And what makes this even more heartbreaking is that while Toni was carrying everyone else, she was also dealing with serious money problems herself. Despite generating over $170 million in record sales for her label, Toni Braxton ended up filing for bankruptcy more than once. The truth is, Toni was generating millions for her record label, Arista LaFace, but earning less than 35 cents per album. She eventually filed a lawsuit against the label, and just 8 weeks later, in January 1998, she also filed for bankruptcy. Toni later revealed that the bankruptcy stemmed from a recording contract that left her with under $2,000 in royalties, while she was still responsible for paying back the label for clothes, travel, studio time, and music video expenses. Her financial situation got so dire that at one point, Toni was even accused of fraudulently transferring $53,490 to her husband, Kerry Lewis, to avoid paying back creditors in the bankruptcy case. And who could forget that infamous interview with Oprah? Toni had hoped that sharing her story would earn some public sympathy, but the interview ended up being humiliating and deeply uncomfortable for her. She later said she felt Oprah was judgmental, condescending, and completely unsympathetic. At the time, there were also whispers that Oprah had intentionally embarrassed Toni on her show, and even tipped off her record label about what was coming. One source claimed that Toni Braxton filed for bankruptcy right in the middle of a contract negotiation, which made LaFace look really bad considering Braxton had already sold over 16 million records. According to that same source, when Toni went on Oprah's show to speak about her financial issues, Oprah allegedly contacted LaFace and said, "Toni's on my show today, and she's planning to make you look really bad. But I think it's messed up, so tune in." Anyway, setting Oprah and her alleged shady behavior aside, Toni filed for bankruptcy again in 2010. But this time, it wasn't just about money. She had been diagnosed with microvascular angina and later lupus, which forced her to cancel a major Las Vegas residency that had been bringing in serious income. Then, in 2019, her financial troubles resurfaced when the IRS filed a lien against her on December 4th, claiming she owed $340,252.99 in back taxes for 2017. Just days later, the State of California Franchise Tax Board hit her with another lien for $116,154.64, bringing the total to nearly $500,000 in unpaid taxes.
On top of that, when you do shows, you still charge her. I don't charge her. When the last time have I charged you for a show?
Tamar
It's been
hasn't charged you
years.
for a show for years.
My sister Tamar never charges me to do background singing for me. My sister Trina does. My sister Tawanda, she's an executive assistant. That makes sense for her to get a salary. I just wish every situation was not about Toni's savings and loans.
I have never charged Toni. And what I am saying is it pissed me off. When I saw that you and Tawanda get paid, I was pissed.
People have long speculated that a major part of Toni's financial burden came from supporting her family, while also battling a chronic, incurable illness and being taken advantage of by her record label. And when the family's reality show made its return, more money issues reportedly came up. The sisters were allegedly upset about why Toni and Tamar were being paid significantly more than the rest of them. According to sources, this sparked a serious argument. Toni, for her part, felt she absolutely deserved the higher pay. At one point, tensions got so high that production reportedly had to shut down filming after a particularly explosive fight among the sisters, and it got to the point where Toni walked off set and said she was done for good. Toni reportedly shared that before Tracy passed, they had all promised her they'd try to get along, but that promise has clearly fallen apart. Not only are the sisters still not getting along, but things seem to have gotten even worse. And according to reports, for Toni, it's no longer just about money. She's simply fed up with all the ongoing drama. Take, for instance, the reports about how none of the sisters showed up to the premiere party for Tamar and Ms. E's cooking show. Apparently, a heated argument broke out just 2 days before the event, and that blow-up led to the sisters skipping the premiere entirely. Then, right after that, Tawanda posted a cryptic message on social media saying, "To everyone who has distanced themselves from me, kindly stay there." Soon after, Tawanda married her longtime partner, Sean Hall, in an intimate ceremony in Decatur, Georgia, after being together for more than 9 years. Toni and Trina stood by her side as bridesmaids, but Tamar was noticeably missing. That absence wasn't a huge surprise, though, considering the long-standing tension between Tamar and Tawanda, a strain that's been obvious since the very first season of their show. In fact, during the first episode, Tawanda was asked how it felt not to have access to her sister Tamar. But before she could even respond, Tamar jumped in, saying Tawanda didn't care. She also accused Tawanda of putting more effort into maintaining relationships with Toni and Trina than with her, and claimed she's usually the one who reaches out first, while Tawanda only bothers to check in when the cameras are rolling. On the flip side, Tawanda also shared that she couldn't even remember the last time she spoke to Tamar, and pointed out that Tamar didn't reach out for her birthday in September, despite them having filmed the episode months earlier in March. Tawanda seemed so done with the situation that she admitted her focus is now only on those within her household, meaning her children and her partner. With all the public fighting between the sisters, people naturally started taking sides. Some believe that Tawanda has always had deep-rooted issues with Tamar, while others argue that Tawanda might just be jealous of Tamar's success. The feud has reportedly caused tension among the rest of the family as well, and sources say Toni is completely over it. And then there's Tamar, who went through a very public breakdown before eventually deactivating all her social media accounts. Before stepping away, she posted several explosive messages on X, claiming her family was toxic. In the now-deleted posts, Tamar wrote, "Y'all have no idea. None. The gaslighting is crazy, and I'm going back into treatment. OMG. I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My family is awful." In another post, she added, "I'm so mad at my life. My family is toxic. I should have never went back to BFV." And in another twist, Tamar recently blocked Toni on social media, something Toni only discovered when she tried to tag Tamar for her birthday. Toni shared the moment publicly, writing, "I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tay." Tamar, on the other hand, clapped back by calling that pure gaslighting, saying Toni could have just picked up the phone and called her. She later posted screenshots of a text thread between the two on her Instagram story, showing them trying to figure out which city the other was in, just the day before. Whew, it's truly been one drama after another. But I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Toni was the breadwinner in the family for decades. Do you think her family drained her financially? Did they play a role in her money struggles? Some folks even believe the emotional stress contributed to Toni developing a chronic illness. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.